Hello there. I just want to do a talk about energy, and this is a very important thing to talk about because the spiritual field, you could, if you like, is almost like split. You've got one half that is, or one side that is full of people that have had unexpected spiritual awakenings, which anyone can give themselves a spiritual awakening. And you've got other people who follow this stuff or read books or looking at external information, and they can get misled. I didn't ask for this spiritual experience. I didn't know it was even called an awakening, and it happened to me at the age of 24, 7-8 years ago now, 32 now. So you can imagine the shock that I was in when it happened, but I realised that other thousands of years people have had these experiences, and the same information I speak about is in Buddhism. And so, the information is out there, but the awakening itself, regarding energy, when you spiritually awaken, what happened to me was that you're going through a lot of healing, and you don't start interacting with energies. For me, it wasn't energies until really, when I first had the awakening, I think I was getting shown an example of energies for about a week, 2 weeks, but then there was no energies. And then years later, I started to tap into these energies, and the reason is because these energies, people just think that they can walk into spirituality. If you think that you're just going to walk into the spiritual field, you've never done it before, you've not had a spiritual awakening, and you're just going to tap into Kundalini, magical divine bliss and euphoric energies, you're living in a dreamland. Because these energies are deep within us, but they're covered up by our unhealed parts, our traumas. And these things might not, some of these unhealed parts are not even from this reality. I know that a lot of elements that I've healed are parts of me that exist in other realities, in other lives I've had. And so, and that it took years for me, but there's a lot of people that get fooled. They think that they can just, that they're going to call some separate god or something, and that they're going to give them all this power, and it's a complete illusion. It's not going to happen, and because there's no such thing as an external thing anyway. Everything's all one, and the reason it's one is because everything must start from a blank sheet of nothingness. That's the way it is, and so nothingness is one infinity, like I always say. Therefore, there's only you. Everything else is just reflections of you, but it's separated itself for the dream. And awareness presents the illusion of two. You've got the awareness on what you're aware of, but it's the same awareness. But back to the dreams, the energy thing. A lot of people don't understand that. And because it's like the other day, I was on Instagram the other day, and this woman was talking about narcissism and stuff, and it's just a label, and I said that. I don't really comment much on things, but I said it anyway. And it's just a label, and labels, tell them what they are and get them to repeat it. That's how you control people. And a more awakened person would say, yes, that's right, and then I got a load of abuse because I was saying it's a label by people that identify with these labels. And one of the women, it said in her profile that she was like a Kundalini teacher, and obviously she's not that. She might have went in a course or something like that, but the more spiritual awakened perspective would be, yes, it's all labels. The asleep person is narrow-minded enough to believe that labels define a person. But these courses do exist. And really, there's so many people that go on courses, but they haven't had that big shift in awakening. And whilst you haven't had that, you're in a very low vibrational state, right? Real spiritual ascension comes after the point of a spiritual awakening. And then after the awakening, you have this pure faith and knowing that, because when you have this awakening, you just know what you've experienced, right? And so once you get that little faith, that knowing, then you're on your journey. But the next thing is, how does one get an awakening? Well, it's all about listening to your soul. You know, most people that have spiritual awakenings, a lot of them, people say, were depressed, and I think that you have to reach a certain level when you just decide. But it's a within thing. But with me, I sat down one day, and within me, it was like the soul coming through. But it's a conscious decision, but you've got to suffer enough before you're awakened. You know, when you decide, you will awaken. But once you have that awakening, you can do it right now. If you listen to your soul right now, you'll awaken. But most people don't. They think there's an external savior. They think there's some separate God or some separate, what they perceive as a separate Kundalini thing. They think that this is like separate, but it's all within you, you see. But like I say, these powerful energies are divine, and before you get to that divine level, you're a low vibrational being at the start, and so you have to go through stages and healing and ascension. And after you've removed all this unhealed dirt, then you get to these light energies, you get to this divine powers, this sexual euphoria, this divine heart-based tingling euphoria, love. But it's not going to come just by walking into the spiritual field. And I just thought I should do a video, and I'll probably talk about it more and more, because there's a delusion in the spiritual field. Lots of people just want to make money. That's the way it is. It's a split field where you've got people that know, that might have not had an awakening, but they've seen events and they've seen that they need that awakening. Some people go to people to try and get an awakening. And there's the other people who get fooled and pulled into like a course or something that isn't worth anything, because it doesn't matter what course you go on until you have that big experience of the big spiritual divine awakening. Then you don't have that pure knowing, and it's that pure knowing, that pure faith, that puts you on your pathway. Without that knowing, you don't really believe in it. You tell yourself, but you don't really believe. So you need to just listen to your soul and understand that these energies come after lots and lots of healing work. After you've went through a path of purity for your spirit, then you start to tap, because remember, it's a very deep part of yourself. It's the divine part. And when we're unhealed, we've got so much problems before getting to that. And that's why for me it took probably 5-6 years before I feeling anything like that. Then I started to feel more energies. But I just thought I wanted to do a video on that. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you very much.